so many ways for people to deal with difficulties in life, and everybody has their own creative and generic, I suppose, protocol for dealing with when life becomes super cold, harsh weather conditions, maybe super hot and difficult. And the fact is that we have these extremes, and some people seem like they don't suffer the extremes and the grass is always greener on the other side. But in reality, the reason why humans have to be nice to each other and the reason why a lot of people are going through with the be nice to each other movement and the giving people a chance and trying to understand other people, even if they look nothing like yourself, um, lifestyle today is because we all have to deal with the same problems at the end of the day. And that comes down to wanting somebody that you cannot have. Okay, so that's the real issue. The reason why a lot of people feel like connecting with God is their spiritual power is because when you connect with God, you are coming closer to having an identity for yourself as an individual who is loved by Him. And notice how that has a male centered framework around him, that pronoun, right? Okay, so some people worship God as a woman, but my topic that I want to discuss has nothing to do with gender specificities. Um, if that's an interesting topic for you, which it is an interesting topic. It's just not really something that I want to center um, my feelings toward the world around right now. My topic is about loving somebody that you really can't have. Now, this can manifest with people in two different ways. You either are with somebody that you deeply love, but you can't have them. And when I say that you can't have them, I mean that it is possible to fall in love with somebody who is not connected with you on a spiritual, physical, um, a spiritual or physical level. It is possible to be with somebody that is not on the same dimension as you mentally, either mentally, physically, or spiritually. A lot of people settle and can make themselves fall in love with somebody. And when I say that, I mean, I truly believe that some people are capable of falling in love with people that are not physically on the same plane as them. And that's a deep commitment. That's a deep commitment sometimes to God. That's a deep commitment to their children. That's a deep commitment to themselves, they might believe. And that's something that is cherished and valued by family oriented people. Um, and yes, of course, I do believe that there are people who have found each other and are meant to be together and are truly the divine gods of the universe for actually having found each other and being able to maintain a family together. But for the most part, most people suffer from, unfortunately, a feeling of desiring and loving somebody that he or she cannot be with. And that brings people together more so than it pulls people apart, because I am an optimist. And optimism is based on choosing to go forward with life and seeing the bright side of things. But when you give people a chance because you can emotionally wrap your mind around what someone else might be feeling on a day to day basis and their current moment without shutting them down right away as somebody who is beneath you or somebody who assumes he or she is above you, right? If you can keep that protected within yourself from emitting your emotions and diverging your emotions onto another human being negatively, that is what is going to keep you connected to um, to a person that you may be spiritually and from a technical, fantastical standpoint, physically connected to as well. Okay? Because human beings are wired to look for their other halves. Not necessarily finding the right person, but you do find some kind of a mate with whom to create offspring. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Some people were given a chance to create offspring, but they chose not to because of physical or emotional or spiritual differences, and that is a choice. People who choose to have children chose to have children, and that is a choice. Um, and that is a responsibility. That's the reality. Bless you, Mom. Bless you. By the way, if you're interested in, anyway, if you have any questions about anything, put it into the chat or leave a comment. But only if you have something good to say. If you have something mean to say, no offense, but go to a different channel. Go next. If you don't like something, if I'm not aesthetically pleasing for you, if you think something's off about me, if you don't like me, if there's nothing that really keeps you interested, go ahead and move on. Because if you keep on lingering on to things that make you feel grossed out, repulsed, unhappy, um, that's going to be something that wastes your time. And you only have one life to live. Yeah. So that's something that all people have in common. And if you have a hard time remembering that we're all just human beings trying to survive here, and we are all on a similar level of suffering, okay? Some people seem and do suffer more than others. And the reason I am confident when I say that is because I have had careers with geriatric and disabled care individuals, and I have personally seen that there are people who suffer much more than others do. But being grateful for the fact that you are still alive is an important thing to share when you interact with other people in day to day life. And a way to remember that is we all desire being able to execute our desires onto the person that we love. or the person that we think we love, right? And the hard part is accepting the fact that we cannot always get what we want. So you really do have to think about what you're capable of doing and what you're incapable of doing, whether it be in the world that you live in, whether you're stuck in the wrong world or not, whether you're with the right person for you or not, and to how that person fits into your life and how you fit into the life of that person, and thinking about the dynamic of the way everything works. Whether you're with that person or not, we all desire somebody in our lives that we can't have. So I just wanted to share that because I think it's a divine truth of human existence. And the system and technicalities of our bodies are complicated things. And sometimes our bodies crave something that we recognize is out of our control, right? But that doesn't mean that you have to always act on it. You have to think about what's most important to you and what you truly want. And if everything that you ever worked for and lived for is worth sacrificing for you to be with somebody that you can't really have, right? So that's why I think a lot of men in particular um, devote themselves to people who you know physically are not completely in touch, women that are not completely in touch with um, a physical like match, right? So they settle down with their wives who, yeah, I mean, you can still get pregnant. You can still get pregnant. But society expects us to be celibate as women and not give our bodies away to individuals who are capable of stealing our power and shaming us, right? For having been too easy. But come on, face it. Were we really too easy, or were we just taken advantage of and not committed to, right? So there are people who do commit to women who come from families where you better go ahead and not try to leave my daughters. Watch what happens, kinds of families. And, I wouldn't call women who have committed partners like that to be lucky, because it's kind of unlucky to have to be with somebody who felt like, he had to stick around either. Like, that's also not a good thing. But unfortunately, the reality is that that's the reality of how a lot of societies function and how a lot of people um, have had to raise children, individuals in this world. So, yeah, I mean, it is a complicated matter to want to have somebody that on a realistic level cannot be there for you right now, or cannot be there with you forever, because there were commitments made. So I just wanted to talk about how hard that is, and how, if you're having a hard time with depression and, um, seasonal affective disorder or something like that, or like, things aren't really going well for you, or, you're stuck in some kind of like a caged situation that you can't really get out of. Just remember that we all want to be with somebody that we can't really have completely. And it's never perfect because there will always be something there. There will always be an obstacle there that gets in the way of what you have created in your mind to be perfect. Okay. So be a human being to people because we're all suffering from that.